Hey, yo.
Yeah, what's
Yo,
up?
what's that? What are you doing?
I'm just trying to get this watch working. 'Cause I'm gonna make a Fallout review.
That's
Yeah,
not
I
a
just
Pip
wanna.
Boy, is it?
Huh?
That's not a
I
Pip Boy.
know.
What is that? Like a
Yeah,
smartwatch?
I
Apple Watch? Like what?
no. It's the Starfield
Starfield.
watch.
Starfield's not in Fallout. What?
Yeah, I know that's not in full.
Why do you have that? Why don't you have an actual Pip
Okay,
Boy to
well,
make this video? Like, why are you using a Starfield thing? That doesn't make any sense.
well, you said it was too expensive to get a Pip Boy, so I couldn't get one.
But you decide to buy a Starfield watch
Yeah,
instead.
well, it's
That's like the same price as a Pip Boy. Wow, you have really good investment choices, man. That's well, good luck to you, man. A Starfield watch.
I like it. Okay, so I have just got done watching the Fallout TV show, and I wanted to quickly make this video just giving some of my thoughts and to talk a little bit about Fallout London later on in the video, but mostly I wanted to talk about the Fallout TV show because I literally just got finished watching it and wanted to talk about it a bit while it's all still, fresh in my mind and everything. And also, what a perfect day for it because I am wearing my Mothman t-shirt today, which is a nice coincidence. For those of you who don't know, the reason that my channel name is Mothman Gaming and why I have all of this Mothman stuff is because of Fallout 76. The Mothman has a big presence in that, so I guess part of the reason that I named my channel is because of Fallout, so it's very fitting that I'm wearing this sort of thing. Anyway, this video is not about the origins of my name, it is about the TV show because, wow, I've just finished watching it, and before I got into this, I was kind of expecting a bit of a mid-show. I wasn't sure what to expect. I didn't think it was going to be bad, but I didn't think it was going to be amazing either. I just kind of expected a fun time, just a fun time watching something that takes place in the Fallout universe, and I was super, super excited for that. So you can imagine my shock when it turns out this show isn't just good. No, no, no. It is, dare I say, a masterpiece. Now, I have a lot of thoughts, and some of them aren't good. I have some issues with it, but a lot of them are good because this show did a lot of things right. First of all, it respected the source material. This was no doubt Fallout. There was no doubt in my mind. They completely respected the material. They had the right tone. It had everything. They respected the lore, and they also added to the lore, which is something I really, really didn't expect. I expected this just to play it kind of safe. They tell a new story. It would be in the Fallout universe, but it wouldn't really do a lot with the IP. This really does. It does add to the lore. Of course, all of it's canon, but I don't want to go into spoilers here, but they do something that kind of is a big moment in the series, and it's a huge part of it. And again, I was very shocked that they actually were, first of all, allowed to do this, but also actually did it. It was amazing. It was just so amazing. They really respected that source material and added their own stuff to it. It was everything I really wanted it to be. I didn't expect it to be, but really wanted it to be. It was amazing. And the actual storyline itself, following Lucy the Ghoul and Marcus, I think his name was, I don't remember his name, but the Brotherhood guy, that was also really well done. I didn't know what I'd think of these characters. I didn't know what I'd think of the story and stuff, but man, they really, really pulled it off with this one. I was intrigued the whole way through. Seriously, I tried to limit myself to 2 episodes a day. That was very difficult to do. I really just wanted to keep watching it. The whole Vault storyline, the whole actual out in the wasteland storyline, everything they were doing was just amazing. And the vaults, can I just talk about the vaults for a moment? Because they showed a few vaults in this, or 2, I think, actually. They showed these vaults and they kind of explored them quite a bit in this show. And that was such a joy. It was so intriguing the whole time to try and put the pieces together in my mind. Like when I'm playing the Fallout games, and you know that moment when you walk into a vault and you're kind of looking around, you're just thinking, what happened here? And then as you're going through it, you're piecing pieces together, and it's all... The show did that amazingly. It was so good to watch it, and to try and go with the story and kind of try and piece it together myself as it went on. That was such a fun time. And again, I was literally on the edge of my seat through most of this show. More often than not, I wasn't sitting back like this, kind of just watching. I was literally I don't want to do it because my mic will pick it up. I was literally leaning into the screen, hands on desk, under my chin. I was really, really invested in this, and I found myself doing that through most of the episodes, which that's quite rare for me to do with the show. For it to hook me that much, that has to say something about the general storyline. And again, they did a lot with the vaults that I wasn't expecting. I didn't think the vaults were going to be very big in this, which I know is weird because it's Fallout, right? But again, I expected them to play it kind of safe. So I wasn't expecting much actual like vault stuff. I thought, you know, Lucy would come out of her vault. Maybe we get a little bit of backstory on that. But I didn't expect them to really lean into the vaults. But they really did. And again, the storyline, everything was just so good. And the acting in this show was amazing. And look, I'm not a show critic, you know, I'm not a director, so I can't really tell what is good acting or not, but it captivated me the whole time. And I think they gave believable performances. I really think they did a good job with this. Everyone involved. It was so good. And something that I learned from Tim Kaine on his YouTube channel, because he does a YouTube channel, by the way, if you don't know, I'll link that below. But something that I learned from him was that all of the actors on this were, or not all of them, but most of the actors were actually fans of the Fallout game. So there's like a few Easter eggs that you might see in there that the actors themselves like decided to do, which I think is really cool. And again, this show just really does feel like a fan project. It feels like so much passion was put into it, and it does just, it was such a joy to watch. And if you're a Fallout fan, you probably already have, but I highly recommend you watch it. And if you're not a Fallout fan, I also recommend you watch it because I think it might get you into that franchise, and you have a lot of games to catch up on. Okay, but I've been gushing so much because, again, I'm very happy with how the show turned out. But let's talk about some of the negative things that I didn't like in this show that much. And the first thing that comes to mind was the second episode. The second episode I thought was probably the weakest of the 8. So minor spoiler warnings for episode 2 here. It's nothing much, but you know, I'm going to talk about a scene in it. So you can skip ahead if you don't want to hear about this. Otherwise, yeah, I'll just jump into it. So the thing that was kind of iffy to me was the Yao Guai interaction. And the reason for that is because when it first got introduced, it looked kind of weird. I don't know what it was, but it looked like those kind of 80 movies of practical effects, you know, because it kind of just stood up on its feet, right? And it like stood there and it was roaring and stuff, but it looked very stiff and just like not very real in how it like reacted and moved. And like even when it like swung and clawed the Brotherhood guy, it just didn't look right. I don't know, like it looked very stiff to me. Maybe that's just me, but to me it looked very like weird, and I was kind of worried that was going to be the whole show. It wasn't, for the record, but that was a bit of a worry to me at the time. The other thing that kind of rubbed me the wrong way in this interaction was the way it got killed, because the way it dies, if you've watched the show, you know it takes one bullet to the head, right? Marcus, I'm going to call him Marcus, I really hope that's his name. Marcus, he shoots the Yao Guai straight in the head with a pistol and it goes down. Now I get why that would happen, because it's like its head, obviously, but it kind of took away a lot of the threat of the Yao Guai. And I feel like this happened quite a lot in the show in general. Like it was weirdly sort of like a lot of the creatures and stuff didn't seem that threatening. Like they went down pretty easily and quickly. Even the Gulper, when that got introduced, I thought went down pretty quickly, which was kind of weird, right? Like it didn't put up that much of a fight. And again, especially the Yao Guai, because it was one bullet to the head and it boom, gone, you know? It just made it feel a lot more unthreatening than it was. But that is the end of the spoilery section. The other thing that I had was kind of in relation to what I just talked about, in that I feel like the Wasteland wasn't all that threatening. Now obviously you had the human factions and stuff, which were the main threat, but I feel as though the creatures of the Wasteland just weren't really that present in the show. Now, on one hand I get why, because obviously there's only 8 episodes, right? They only have like 8 hours to tell this story, and I didn't feel like any of the time was wasted in the show. I didn't feel like anything could have been replaced, and I didn't ever feel bored. So I feel like they did everything right, but I feel as though maybe they could have squeezed 1 or 2 more episodes out of this just to put in like some more Wasteland encounters, because there wasn't that many throughout the show, and I feel as though it kind of takes away from that like Wasteland sort of stuff when it doesn't seem that threatening, right? Because like, oh, you have all of these creatures, but you know, they're not really that present in the show. They're not really that like around, they're not around that much, you know? And when they are, you know, they're not that much of a threat. They kind of, yeah, it's a bit weird. That's like the 2 main things that kind of annoyed me about the show a little bit. And that's it. That is literally it. That is my only complaint. So I hope going forward in season 2, whenever we get that, I hope they address that a little bit and the creatures are more present and more of a threat. Another kind of spoilery section here, so you might want to jump ahead a little bit. But now that you have been warned about the spoilers, this is for the end of the show, I really wanted to talk about Season 2 and what that might bring because, oh my god, did you see that Deathclaw head? I was thinking the whole time throughout this show, I was thinking like, where are the Deathclaws? Where, like, you know, where are the super mutants? Where are the Deathclaws? I'm not seeing them. And then they teased that at the end. And obviously going to New Vegas, like the setting for Season 2 is... I've never been more excited for a show in my entire life than I am for Season 2 of Fallout. This, I already know, is going to be another masterpiece. And I really, really hope that they don't cheap out on the Deathclaws when they finally show up. I hope that they are the threat they should be. I hope that they are big. I hope that they are very hard to take down. And I hope that they cause a lot of destruction. Because we all know Deathclaws are big threats in Fallout. So I really hope the show lives up to that. And it's not like another Yao Guai situation where it goes down pretty easily. Okay, but now that the spoilery part is over, yeah, I am very, 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 very excited for Season 2. More excited than I've ever been for a show, and I watched Westworld. So that says a lot, right? Because I loved Westworld. So the fact that I'm so excited for Season 2 of this really should say a lot, because Season 1 was genuinely a masterpiece. Again, I had those 2 issues that I briefly talked about here. Other than that, I literally can't think of a single one. I thought the writing was amazing, the acting was amazing, the lore was amazing, and what they did with it was amazing. I thought it really well respected the source material. I thought the story was super engaging. The writing was really well done. The vaults were amazing. I really, really, really did just love absolutely everything about this show, and that is why I'm giving it a masterpiece rating, because I genuinely think it deserves it. I think it did everything right. Again, apart from those 2 issues. And I don't want that to kind of take away from it because, again, I didn't feel like my time was wasted throughout the show. I didn't feel like I was sitting there going, oh, well, I'm a bit bored now. Every moment in the show was captivating. Everything felt like it needed to be there. So I don't think they really had time to fix those other complaints if they couldn't get more episodes out of it. So they're very minor complaints in the grand scheme of things, is kind of what I'm saying, because everything else about the show was just done so perfectly. And now that it is over, yeah, I have that post-show depression. If you know about post-game depression, yeah, you can get that with TV shows too, apparently. I've only felt this way about a few shows when I've been watching them. It is very, very rare, so that is also how I know it's a really, really good show without like evaluating it too much. Just the fact that it's like finished, and I feel empty inside. I feel like I'm missing something. Like, what am I gonna do now? In the evenings, you know, I can't watch 2 episodes of Fallout. What am I gonna do? I have no idea. I'm gonna have to find something to replace it. I don't know what. I really don't, because, man, I don't think we're gonna see something like this again until, well, Season 2 of Fallout, obviously. But I don't think a show is gonna hit this hard again, especially already being a big fan of the franchise, I think is a big contributor to like how I'm feeling over it, of course, because I wanted it to be amazing, but I didn't think it would be. So the fact that it was beyond amazing is really, really put me over the moon, and I'm sure that adds to my post-show depression. So yeah, consider that my official Fallout TV show review. I give it a masterpiece rating. And now let's go on to the second part of this video, which is Fallout London, because this part is not as happy, sadly. So for those of you who don't know, Fallout London is a mod that is being developed for Fallout 4. It is a new game, essentially. It's a brand new Fallout game, which is being brought to life by Team Folan. And they are doing this all completely for free. The mod was supposed to come out on the 23rd of April, I think. And sadly, Bethesda just announced that the Fallout 4 Next Gen update is coming out on the 25th of April. For those of you who can't already see what's going on here, basically this update is going to break every single mod for Fallout 4. It's a next gen update, it's going to break everything. And that also sadly includes Fallout London, which was of course due to release 2 days before that. So that hit me hard as well, because I was really, really excited to play this mod, like really, really excited. I have been waiting for it for so long, and it kind of felt like, it did feel like a new Fallout game releasing to me. It was really, I was really anticipating it, and it was getting so close. And of course, it was coming out just around the same time as the Fallout show, so like even better, right? Because I'm in that Fallout mood. I'm replaying Fallout 4 right now, And this would have been perfect. This would have been. But of course, Bethesda announced the next gen update. And as soon as they did, my first thought was, oh no. Oh no, this is gonna probably ruin that mod. And sadly, it did, because it has been delayed indefinitely. Fallout London will not be coming out on the 23rd of April, or possibly even April. There is no release date right now. They did say it could come out very soon. Basically, they just have to fix all of the issues on their side that the update is going to break. And then they're using a bunch of other mods within it. So they have to wait for the authors of those mods to also fix that, which could take months. They have no idea. I have no idea. This could be something that doesn't really affect that much. It could release, 2 days after the next gen update if everything just gets fixed quickly. I doubt it. It's probably going to be pulled back quite a few months, but it could be even longer than that. We really don't know. And I think that sucks, because this team has put a lot of effort into this mod, and it really, really shows. Just look at some of the trailers and the gameplay. There is so much love put into this. It is literally a new game. It is the biggest mod that we have ever seen for a Bethesda title, ever. I'm pretty sure, right? Because even Skyrim, even like Bruma, is nowhere near this big. And of course you have like Enderal, which I guess is the only thing that actually rivals it. So I guess it's the second time we've seen something like this happen. And it really, really sucks that all of their hard work is kind of being screwed over by Bethesda with their timing of the next gen update. And what's really frustrating about this is that Bethesda knew this mod was releasing. It's been announced for months, yet they still decided to release the next gen update just 2 days later. They knew about it and they decided, yeah, just go ahead and do that anyway. And they didn't even contact the team behind the mod. They didn't reach out to them and say, hey, we can work with you on a next gen update so that way your mod can release on time and we can get everything going together. Bethesda never reached out to them, ever, apparently. Only the community manager has reached out to kind of promote the mod a little bit on their Twitter. Other than that, Bethesda has not been involved at all, which is really, really strange to me, because this is a highly anticipated mod. Why would Bethesda not... First of all, why would they not help? Second of all, why would they purposefully kind of screw that over? Now look, I don't work at Bethesda. Maybe there's like a ton of stuff going on behind the scenes that I don't really know about. I'm not sure how it all works, or I'm sure it's way more complicated than I think it is, but I just feel as though there was a way for Bethesda to kind of avoid this, or to at least help the team prepare for it, but they just haven't reached out at all, and I think that kind of sucks. Now, of course, talking about Enderal earlier, that got a standalone release on Steam, and the Fallout London guys apparently have been trying to do that, but again, Bethesda just haven't reached out to them. And I think the reason for that this is only my personal opinion, but I think the reason for it is because Enderal wasn't related to the Elder Scrolls IP. It was like very much its own sort of thing, whereas Fallout London is still Fallout, right? It's still that franchise. So I kind of get why it's not getting its own release, because Bethesda might not want to, be too much associated with that, because again, it's the Fallout IP. There's kind of a lot more at stake here, right? If they have some weird stuff in there, which we've seen happen before, sadly, or if it's just not that good or something, I kind of get why Bethesda might want to like be careful with it, because again, it is carrying that Fallout brand. So maybe they don't want to mislead people, make them think that it's like an official Fallout thing when it's a fan project, So I do get that angle of it, but I don't know. I just feel like they still could have helped in some way. If not, like, release their own standalone, which again, I get why they wouldn't do that. I still feel like they could have at least reached out to these like creators and just said, hey, we're releasing the next gen update. We want to help you prepare for that, so that way your mod is good to go, and just kind of worked alongside them a little bit. I feel like that would have been really good for Bethesda, especially in like the PR department, right? Because after Starfield, Bethesda has a little bit of a rough rep right now, and I feel like doing something like that for the community would really, really, really help Bethesda. So I just gotta wonder, why didn't they? That's very weird to me. They basically have delayed this mod indefinitely because they decided to release the update at that time. It's weird. I don't really get it. And I wasn't planning on talking about this, but I thought, why not, since I'm already here. I guess I'll talk about the Fallout 4 next gen update just a little bit, because I don't have many thoughts on it, but I have one. I don't really get the point of it. I was expecting a lot more from this next gen update. Now, obviously for console users, it's pretty big, right? You're going to get 60 FPS on higher resolutions. You're going to get access to the better mod, like the better creation club and stuff, where you can actually look up things and it actually shows you the stuff you're looking up. And of course, we're getting some free creation content as well. So for consoles, it's a pretty big deal. But for PC, I was kind of expecting a lot more. The only thing they've announced is widescreen support, basically. That's it. There isn't any info about like raw mouse input, because if you don't know, Fallout 4 on PC does not have raw mouse input. It uses like mouse acceleration. It's weird, it doesn't feel great, you have to fix that manually, which is annoying. There is also no info about being able to fix your graphics settings in-game. Again, if you don't know, on PC, you can only change your graphics settings from the launcher. So if you decide, oh, it doesn't run that well and I want to turn shadows down a little bit, you have to actually close the game, reopen it, go into the launcher and change it all there, which is really annoying. There is no news about a field of view slider. Again, you can't do that in-game. You have to either use the console or you have to edit an INI file, which is really outdated for a game that released in 2015, by the way. That's really weird. And those are just like super basic things that I was expecting. I expected this next-gen update to completely remove the launcher and just let you change all of your graphics options in-game, turn off mouse acceleration and like put in raw input. And just all a bunch of things that you can tweak in INIs I thought would be settings in game. And maybe they are. Maybe they just didn't mention them, but I'm just going off of what Bethesda has said and there is no mention of that whatsoever. So that is a little disappointing. I was also kind of expecting some graphical improvements. Not many. I wasn't expecting like a remake, but I was expecting something just to make the game look a little bit nicer. I thought they'd bring some of that Creation Engine 2 over and some of the tech that they use in Starfield, but apparently not. Apparently it's just a really simple next-gen update that is good for consoles. But us on PC, we don't actually seem to be getting a lot. And it also seems like we're about to lose a lot of mods from this as well. Because again, you know that a bunch of mods are gonna break because of this update. So overall, the next-gen update to me was really disappointing. If you're on console, it's pretty big and it's a pretty big deal. And I'm super happy for you guys. But yeah, for PC, it just seems like we're getting widescreen support and a bunch of broken mods, which, you know, kind of sucks a little bit. I was expecting a bit more. Wow, so this video has had it all, hasn't it? It's had the super positive Fallout stuff and the negative Fallout stuff. I've got to do a positive rant for once and also my usual negative rants. Sadly, again, due to the next-gen update mostly. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video mainly giving my thoughts on the Fallout show, but also just to talk about some Fallout stuff while I'm here. Let me know what you think down below if you've watched the show. Do you agree with my rating? What do you think? Let me know all of your thoughts. And also, if you're a PC player, let me know your thoughts on the Fallout London delay if you've been interested in that. And if you're on console or PC, let me know your thoughts on the Fallout Next Gen update, because maybe I'm alone in feeling like it was a little bit disappointed, but I feel like most PC players will agree with me that it is a bit underwhelming. But I don't know. You tell me. You let me know. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like down below and don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you know when I next upload a video. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you next time.